Homeowners are opting for home security cameras at an alarming rate. I mean, do you feel safe at home? Yeah, me neither. The latest in crime stats is 1 out of 27 homes will be broken into or burglarized. So after some research, I found this company. I ordered some cameras and decided to do it myself. Before I get into the costs associated with DIYing it yourself versus hiring a professional company to come install it, I do want to mention I was threatened recently. I was threatened by a homeowner in my own neighborhood. And here's the space I'm going to install it in. And with a little luck on my side, I'll have some funny moments caught on cameras like these instead of becoming a statistic of any crime. So let's pull out the ladder and enter Hell's Kitchen, aka the attic. Oh, and the heat in the attic, it's just delightful. It's like a sauna up there without any of the relaxing benefits. With that being said, crawl spaces and attics aren't my thing. But let's head back down into the house, and my cabinet's kind of unsightly. It's under construction, and that's a video coming very soon. But I'm gonna use my saw and get through a little hole in the wall. I'm about to start fishing with a fish tape, and I'm gonna begin pulling the wires out one at a time. But I know what you're thinking. Why am I doing a hardwire security camera versus a wireless? Well, the answer is quite simple. You see, wired systems are more secure because they're on a self-contained network, and that's more reliable. I mean, they don't need to share Wi-Fi bandwidth with my son's Call of Duty obsession. Not to mention, you have higher resolution with 4K cameras, and they record 24/7, even when the internet is down. And before I forget, you don't have to worry about falling off a ladder, changing out SD cards, or having to charge batteries on your Wi-Fi cameras. But I know what you're thinking. You want to talk numbers. So let's dive into it. The system I'm installing has 8 cameras. They're 4K resolution, and it comes with all the cables and the NVR and everything necessary for the installation. Obviously, they do have other kits where you could get 16 cameras or even 4. Basically, they have a variety of different options. You just have to see what fits your needs. For me, 8 cameras was all that I needed, but I do have the capability to go up to 16 with my system. In this back corner, this one was tough. Probably the hardest one out of all of them so far. So moving on to the front porch and a stable ground, let's put the fish tape up in the attic. And this will be the view for the front door camera. The fish tape goes up in the attic so I can find the wires I need to pull down. And this here is the string that goes to the main unit. I'm taping all my cables onto it and pulling it down. Just like before, and then we pull them through the cabinet and hook them up to the NVR. That's coming up here shortly. But again, this is a back and forth process, up and down, and there's that fish tape coming up from the porch. There's the end of it, and we're going to tape some lines and feed it through. This just helps me find the cables and get it to the correct placement. Let's install this camera, and I'll give you a close-up. It's a PoE system, Power on Ethernet. So there's no need to run a cord for the video and a cord for the power. There's just one cable to pull per camera. This is it. This is a Category 5 wire. And it comes with these waterproof seals so that way you can seal them. Now some areas on my house didn't need it, but others did. But you simply plug it in, move over the waterproof connector, and then mount the camera. Getting back to my installation, I'm preparing this camera and pulling out all the hardware. And just like the short video clip I showed you, I'm about to plug it all in, add the waterproof connectors, and install the camera. Easy peasy. Not bad, huh? Pretty cool. Then just simply adjust it as needed so you can get the field of view that you want. And I have to move on to these other cameras because the day is starting to heat up and I need to wrap this project up. I do want to talk about the neighbor that threatened me in my neighborhood. But before I go there, I want to give you some vital information. The costs associated with hiring a camera surveillance company to come do this for you. And to do something comparable to what I'm doing, which is 8 4K high-resolution cameras with an NVR, which is a digital video recorder system, it's going to cost anywhere from $125 to $450 per camera. The costs associated with this whole system would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $5,000. So with it being a DIY of $899, that's a huge savings. I highly recommend the DIY version of this, and I definitely recommend this company. So far, this stuff has been great. And I'll have a link in the description box if you're interested in checking this company out. But let's get on to that neighbor that threatened me in my neighborhood. Let's talk about that for a moment. This individual has not only threatened me, but other men, other women, and even children in the neighborhood. And you know how it goes. One bad egg can ruin it for the majority. And my community is awesome. Everybody is friendly, everybody gets along, but we have this one bad person. And what can we do about it? Not much. So I took this extra measure for camera surveillance just to ensure my family's safety. After all, this guy may have a couple of screws loose. I don't know. And with the state of our economy and inflation, people are on edge. And I don't want to take any chances. Oh, and before I forget, this camera system even has a process where I can program an app on my phone. It's all free and comes with it. Really cool. So now not only will I be able to review my camera surveillance at home, but I can watch it from my phone, anywhere. And I'll be notified if there's any motion detected on my property. Like if my son fell into the pool or a neighbor was trespassing, I'll be alerted and I'll fully know what's going on my property at all times. The cameras also have night vision, which works in the evening. So I have to ask, would you DIY this project?